Welcome back, everybody. It's day 4 of our New Mexico elk hunt, and Carl got some intel from one of the locals yesterday evening about certain spots and kind of what tactics are working well right now. And he said that using a cow call and just walking, walking and cow calling, walking, cow calling. He said that he got 2 different elk to respond to him and come into the call yesterday. And he's been hunting this like bottomland country. It's kind of like desert with all these little pine trees. So he's in the lower elevations doing it. And last night we seen a huge bull elk right over there at the base of that mountain on the road, which is connected to this giant chunk of, what do you call this landscape? Like,
it's like grazing ranch land.
Yeah, ranch land sounds good. But we got the wind coming straight out of the west, so we're gonna work all this way, and we're just gonna walk. It's a giant chunk, so we can walk pretty much as we want. And I'm an amateur elk caller. This is the first time I've ever done this in my life, so we're gonna attempt to do some cow calling and see what happens here. Got nothing to lose, everything to gain. What was the cause of death, you think?
Dehydrated.
That makes sense. We just had one of the locals come by with a guide, so we know that we're in a good spot if there's guides taking guys out here. We asked them if they had been hearing any bugling, and they said a couple mornings ago they were screaming in here, so they're here somewhere. We have yet to hear a bugle in 4 days, so yeah. Yeah, 2 small ones and a big bull, it looks like. The crap out of that. These elk are sticking right to these draws where it's sandy bottom. They don't like walking up on that old volcanic rock. There's a big rub right there on that tree. There's elk tracks everywhere in here. Crap. You can see that's just tore up right there. I'm not positive, but I think I found my first elk shed. That looks pretty shed-like to me. Right there. What do we got? Holy crap. Look at the size of that thing. It's a muley shed. It's freaking huge. My gosh. My gosh, look at that shed. Jeez. It's huge.
More fucking shit.
Look at the size of that thing.
That's a big one.
It almost looks like a whitetail a little bit, doesn't it? I mean, it's a mule deer for sure, but it's got a whitetail look to it.
Yeah.
I thought it was an elk shed from like 50 yards away. I'm like, there's my first elk shed. Walked in, I'm like, oh my gosh.
You must have went on a fucking serious walk.
I did.
I was just like,
You didn't see nothing?
no. Did you hear anything or see anything?
No. Unreal.
That's
Well, we're heading back to the truck after one of the more successful hunts of the season so far with that big mule deer shed. I actually ran into another hunter way in there. We walked quite a few miles and ran into another guy in there. He was actually a guide in this area. So what that tells me is Carl and I found a good spot here if there's a guide hunting in here. So we're gonna be back at him this afternoon. Have any words of wisdom, Carl, for everybody?
don't forget your binoculars.
He said, don't forget your binoculars. He forgot them. Something's digging a bunch of holes right here. Digging up bugs or something. I don't know what. We do have some elk tracks around here. Carl and I split up. This is our last afternoon to hunt. We're going to be able to hunt tomorrow morning before we have to head back to New York, but he's going to be over here. I'm going to get across this unit a little bit, or this parcel, and we're going to sit for the evening. I'm going to go back to where I found that mule deer shed and walk around right there a little bit to see if I can find that other side. Then we're going to sit. Hopefully we see some elk. I've yet to see an elk while hunting on this trip. Let's change that tonight. You see these freaking mounds all over out here. I wonder if they're ants that make that or what does that. Gotta be ants. Yep, red ants. Those are nasty buggers. Really nasty buggers. I learned a hard lesson while I was in Georgia. I sat on one of those anthills in the dark during an FTX. Got the shit bit out of myself. Those red ants are no joke. They don't mess around. Well, now I know what those hills are. Red ant hills. Well, I hope that wasn't for me. There was definitely something that got bumped there. It looks to be pretty fresh. I'm not sure. Walked about 4 miles so far and I just haven't found any like good visible spots. It's really tough because, you know, all the majority of the elk sign is right here in this thick stuff down in here, and there's just nowhere to sit to watch like a good portion of it, and there's nothing that like confines them into certain areas. This is like total You just got to be luckier now is what it comes down to, I think. I've been looking for that other shed to the other side of that shed I found this morning. Haven't had any luck with that. You can be really quiet. I mean, I'm on sand. You can see, like, you can sneak around here and make literally no noise whatsoever. So, I'm just gonna make a big loop around here. That huge elk we seen on the road was right at the bottom of that cliff yesterday. So, I know there's a big elk in here somewhere. I'm just gonna make a big loop and head back toward the truck because it'll be dark by the time I get back. It's the very last evening that we're able to hunt here before we gotta go back to New York. And I struck out here so far. It's about prime time though, so I can see a lot where I'm sitting right here. I got this whole bottom and I got the wind in my favor. There's lots of sign down here in this thick stuff. I seen a couple coyotes take off out from the other side of this thick stuff right here. Seen a few rabbits, and that's about it. This is a lot easier terrain to walk around on than up there in those mountains. That's the Cibola National Forest that you can see right here, that line of mountains. That's actually the Zuni Mountains, what they call those, but it's part of the Cibola National Forest, and that's where we hunted the first 3 days. I tell you, that's tough terrain in there. Tough terrain. If I had to describe New Mexico elk hunting in one word, humbling. I'll tell you what though, this is a predator hunter's paradise. You wouldn't believe the amount of coyotes here, everywhere. Prairie dogs too. Man, there's fields of just hundreds of prairie dogs. Let's sit tight here and see if something happens in the last few minutes. Holy crap. Wait till you see this freaking mule deer shed I just found. Holy shit, this thing's huge. Where's the other one? This mule deer shed is a giant. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Oh my gosh, look at that thing. That is incredible. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me?
be right here. Just cows.
Yeah, almost got a stampede of them.
I scared them when I somehow I got down too far. I came this way. Is that what you mean when they came?
Yeah, they came freaking blasting up through here.
One group went this way and one went that way.
For a second, I thought they were elk, and I got super excited. But then I'm like, well, it's too dark.
Did you find another one? You're an asshole. That's huge.
Isn't that nuts?
That's why you keep walking up there. That's a monster. That's a slob, dude.
Isn't that nuts?
Holy hell.